Former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci is with me now. Thanks so much for doing it once again.
Good to be here.
So let's just start out with this possible third indictment of former President Trump. Obviously, he's been indicted on two other accounts, two other cases before. This could be something related to a different development that we are following. I guess, what type of an impact are you expecting it to have on his presidential campaign if it does take place?
Well, I think it's a huge distraction. White collar crime comes with a tremendous amount of trial preparation, tremendous amount of oral depositions, and lots of evidence gathering. In addition to that, uh, the look, he can withstand the heat of the media, but I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand the onslaught of three, possibly four governmental agencies, either state, city, or federal law enforcement and justice agencies bringing heat against him personally. And I think why you've heard me talk about this, his family doesn't seem as interested in this campaign as the prior campaigns. And I think that puts him at a little bit of a loss. And I just want to briefly explain why. He can be quite bellicose and antagonistic with people. Jared and Ivanka sort of would then call those people and say, "Oh, he didn't really mean that. Get back on the campaign bandwagon." So those stabilizers or those neutralizers, if you will, from his family are not with him this time. So as this heats up, he's well in the lead, no question about that. But as this heats up, I think it's going to cause distractions and could lead to gaffes, etc. We'll have to see, but two impeachments, four indictments, and this looks like the person that the GOP wants to have as the presidential nominee. And just remember, this is a man that lost the House, the Senate, and the American presidency 4 short years ago, or 3.5 years ago. So let's see, but it doesn't look good to me. But if he wins that nomination, we both know he has a 50% chance of making it to the presidency.
And so I guess picking up on that point that you mentioned about kind of the political reactions to this, the political fallout. I mean, you mentioned his family. They don't seem to be as interested in this campaign as they were in the last couple of campaigns that he ran for president in. But looking at some of his political rivals, it seems as if no matter what happens, whether it is an indictment or whether something else takes place, his opponents like Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, who was on the show earlier today, they always seem to kind of come to the defense of the former president. They oftentimes claim that he's the victim, that the system is being weaponized against him. Why do you think his opponents are so quick to come to his defense as opposed to typically in a primary, it's kind of gloves off whenever it can be?
Well, those two, I think you're giving good examples, but obviously Governor Chris Christie has taken the gloves off. He's gone after him hard, and he's willing to expose all of the hypocrisies of what's going on. Those two younger gentlemen, I think, have decided through their political consultants that it's not wise to go after President Trump because if he falls out of the race, they think they want to be in the pole position to gain his supporters. But I think his supporters, frankly, are very binary. They're with Trump, or if Trump's not in the race, they're not necessarily with anybody. So currying favor like this doesn't really help them. Doesn't help them with President Trump, of course. I mean, he's polite to Vivek Ramaswamy because he thinks he has absolutely no chance. And by the way, I think Vivek, by and large, has run a very good campaign. He's impolite to Ron DeSantis. I don't think he thinks Ron DeSantis has a chance either, but he's impolite to him because he really thinks he helped build his governorship. He helped him get elected in 2018. So, but that's, politics. They are afraid of him. Kevin McCarthy's afraid of him. They had the chance to impeach him while he was president. If they moved on him in January, if they moved on him January 7th, as an example, he would have been impeached while he was president. That conviction would have taken place, and here you go. We would have been in a better situation as a country. But listen, is it probably impolite thing to say when we say it on your show? We're watching these elderly men have health and age-related issues, and I don't wish them anything but health. And I have respect for Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell, but I think we have to look at this clinically and ask ourselves, is this the best America can offer? An 80-year-old candidate, a 78-year-old candidate for the presidency? Why are we doing that? Why aren't we making room in our minds for younger people? So, who's ever supporting Donald Trump, I'd like them to consider that. Why are we doing this, knowing that there will be lots of different negative consequences?
And so just lastly, before we conclude picking up on that, then when you have someone like Donald Trump, and I mean, largely the same on the Democratic side as well, who is, very elderly, or getting to be elderly, who is, obviously the GOP is going to need to move on from him at a certain point in time. But right now it seems to be, it's more so Trump is the GOP than the GOP is Trump. So I guess what does that say, and what does it say about the fact that Donald Trump is kind of leading the GOP even when he is not, the nominee as of yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, it says that the GOP is broken. It also says that we don't have a courageous, entrepreneurial GOP candidate that can build a new coalition of people. Why? There is a voting bloc in our country that's 140 plus million strong, and they vote consistently every election. They vote the same way in every election. It's literally the largest voting bloc that we have, and that is the non-voter. And so, imagine the political opportunity for a very smart, seasoned, charismatic political leader to go after that market. And so Barack Obama did it in 08. He expanded the market for the Democrats. He went after new people. The Clintons had locked up the establishment, and he created a new market and was able to win the presidency twice. We need a GOP candidate that would think about changing up the ideas and making the ideas of the Republican Party look like the beautiful, wonderful mosaic of the American people. They've decided that they want to go with ideas from the 40s and the 50s, and they're clinging to a white demography. I mean, these people are buying catheters and wheelchairs in between Fox News commercial interruptions. And so for me, I would say we need new blood, we need new energy in that party. And I'll continue to say that. And if people are upset with me about that, that's fine. But for having him represent this party that was once Abraham Lincoln's, I think is disgraceful. And I think people should really reflect on what they're doing and why they're doing it with him. And, every Justice Department in the United States is not corrupt. You're dealing with four separate organizations: the Attorney General in Georgia, the District Attorney in Manhattan, the U.S. Attorney in Washington D.C. They're not all corrupt. Okay, I don't believe that, and if people do believe that, that's a sign that some cult-like activity psychologically is going on.
All right, we'll leave it there. Former White House Communications Director
Thank
Anthony
you.
Scaramucci. Thanks.